What is going on, Eagles Nation? Happy Monday. Stephen Hellmann here, Tom Aresco, the weekly Chirp. That was a tough one last night. Yesterday afternoon. Yesterday morning for us in LA.
Rough loss. Rough loss.
So, team's 3-2 now, and, Cowboys. Actually, yesterday was like the worst day ever for if you're an Eagles fan. Cowboys winning, going to 5-1, Giants winning, and the Redskins beating us, of course. So, it just kind of changes the landscape. And what was the NFC least now,
looking like a pretty tough division.
pretty tough division. So, what are your initial thoughts from this game?
Obviously got to protect Carson Wentz going forward in his career. This is something we both pointed out during Sam Bradford's time here, is that his offensive line isn't that great, and Peters kind of did start the season playing well, but over the last couple weeks has declined. Obviously, Lane Johnson's out, and Kelsey's not played well at all this year, as people have pointed out. So you're kind of leaving it down to Brandon Brooks, who in the Washington game didn't look that great.
Yeah, well, when you got Big V next to you,
when
you got playing for two guys.
Yeah, you got an entire line that's not playing well. When they're all playing well, it looks great, and that's the biggest key to any offensive line.
Yeah.
They're not that good. They're shuffled in and out nonstop because of Peters last year was banged up, so we had a bunch of shuffling. And we lost two guys off the line last year in Harriman and Matheson. Now this year it's like, okay, Brooks is new, and then Big V comes in for Lane Johnson. Alan Barber's somewhat new. He was hurt last year, last year. And then you got Jason Kelsey, and they're having the same problems with chemistry and just himself as well, declining. So bottom line is this offensive line isn't good enough right now, and that's going to hurt our offense more than our playmakers do. I think that our receivers are somewhat mediocre. I think you're seeing that DGB is a playmaker, but ultimately we have a pretty average bunch of receivers. I like Jordan Matthews for what he does, but he's not like a guy that is a number one receiver. He's just, he does certain things really well, and he's going to get good chemistry with Wentz. Same with DGB. He's a good player. He can make plays, more chemistry gets with Wentz. The other guys, they're either going to be gone or they're going to be doing that. We still need that top flight playmaker. So that's missing from the offense, as well as, I think, a consistent offensive line. And those are the two things that jump out at you. And then the defenses have played really bad. In the second half, they get it together, and they've held teams in check. They let up, 6 points in the second half? So 27 total, and then in the last one, they let up 3 in the second half. But in the first half, they're not getting enough negative plays and stops to hold teams in check. So it's coming back to bite them, and that's really the summary of the whole game, and penalties.
Yeah, no, what my biggest takeaway from is definitely, the offensive line is going to need some work. But you gotta, just because Jordan Reed's in the game, that the seam up the middle was just open all game. They were able to hit so many patterns just right up the middle, like 8-9 yards that no one's around them when they catch the ball, so they're turning into 15-yard gains.
Yeah.
So I just think you gotta. You got to do a better job with the Andy Reid got to do a better job, but seriously, the corners got to play a little better, and they got to be more aware. It just seems like that they're not, being able to man up their guys, and just a lot of things just went wrong, and the penalties were horrific. I really don't know. These last 2 games have been so one-sided, and we're not good enough to overcome these injuries yet. We're not. These penalties, we're just not good enough still.
Or injuries, or suspensions, or whatever.
Whatever you want to call it. But there's just things that aren't going. Those things not going our way.
Everything not going our way.
Everything
not going our way is just hurting us. And, even if we were getting a lot of these calls, it would still be kind of closer games.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that we're just getting blown out in all those categories, after they came back from the bye week, they've just been some undisciplined, sloppy team that isn't out coaching anyone, that isn't out playing anyone, and it's just crazy. They had so much energy and so much, it seemed camaraderie and chemistry early in the season, and it seemed like they just used it all, and now it's gone. What's going on? It's like a sloppy mess again. That's kind of more what you expected from a young team, but the fact that they showed that they can play smarter and make no mistakes is just, it's confusing as to why all of a sudden there's all these mistakes and there's just this lackluster performance 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty upsetting.
Yeah, the penalties on our end, we definitely have to clean it up. But the big thing with me is that the things that aren't being called by their team.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that we're seeing out there,
Some
the whole,
of the
and
holes,
it's
yeah,
it's getting ridiculous. The past 2
it's
games.
one thing if you're not calling it on either team,
Yeah,
but the
but-
fact that we're getting called every single big play,
And we are committing penalties, but if
Yeah.
you're looking at it in comparison to what's not being called by their team, then it's
Yeah.
like,
it's like, well, they're not.
Well,
You're missing
you
the
gotta
same
call
calls
both
with them,
ways.
yeah, and they're springing huge plays. And
yeah,
then when we spring big plays, it's like, oh, you were holding here, but it's like, oh, well, look at half their big. The
Yeah.
other team. It seems like for some reason, one way or another, you're beating yourself, or I mean, maybe you can't even control it. And I mean, look, the bottom line is a good team. You know, will do different things to try to overcome that. And and right now they're not really doing much to overcome it either. So kind of is what it is, and you just got to hope that you got 11 games left to show what you got this year, and got to keep fighting. I had them at 9-7.
10-6.
You had them at 10-6. I had them at 3-2 right now, and I had a loss to Pittsburgh, so they start 2-1. They come out of the bye and beat Detroit, so they're 3-1, and they lose to Washington, 3-2. So I'm one game off a little bit. But like I was telling somebody earlier, it doesn't matter to me what I like. Okay, I predicted him at 3-2. It doesn't mean I'm like less. Like I'm like happy with the loss or anything.
Yeah,
like, I can't
yeah.
stand when they lose games and play like this. It's terrible. I wish I was completely wrong, and I wish they were 5-0 right now.
Yeah.
And you think without a couple penalties, it's like you got to just clean it up, and you could be winning games.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I'm very optimistic, obviously, but you guys know that. But we've lost these 2 games where we have played terrible. The refereeing has killed us. It's just we have looked god awful, and we're barely losing these games.
Yeah, we're still.
And if there's any silver lining, this is a young team moving forward. You have a team with a bunch of young guys where you're probably only a few pieces away. You're gonna need you need a right tackle, cornerback, elite receiver, and an outside linebacker, and then you're a really good team.
Yeah,
and the fact that we're losing these games barely, with all these things going against us, all these things going wrong, I can't get too upset by this because it does suck. But what we're building right now, the roster we have, and 11 games left in the season, I love what's going on right now, and it sucks. This sucks, but you know what? These are things that are gonna happen, and I just think that you gotta have to just be like, we got 11 games to go, buckle up, and let's see what we got. We're 3-2 right now. It sucks. We should be 4-1. We should be 5-0, but it is what it is. We're 3-2, and it's not.
3-2. Yeah, 3-2 is not 1-5 like Carolina or anything like that. So you look around the league and you're thinking, okay, some of these other teams are worse. We're still, we're like 1.5 games back in our division, and we have a game in hand, 2 games in hand with Dallas, obviously. Bunch more. I mean, there's so much season left. Like
there is.
The bottom line is you're upset with the losses, but at the same time, you do want to see the mistakes cleaned up. You gotta clean the mistakes up. You got a chance to make everything right with a win over Minnesota, one of the best teams. But the bottom line is, you're right. You do have to love what they're building and everything like that. It's
Maybe they pull a Patriots game.
Yeah,
last year where they just piped it up and they went nuts.
Where they came out of nowhere and
they got blown out both times when they came back.
But I do think you're right. You gotta love what they're building, and it's a long season, and they're not by far the best team.
No,
they're not. They're very talented from top to bottom, but they have to put it all together.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with time playing together and adding players and just molding this team around your franchise player. That's now
a lot of new pieces coming together, a whole new system, a whole new defense. You get a rookie quarterback on top of all that as well.
The hot start 3-0 kind of allows you to come back to earth a little bit during the middle of the season and figure things out.
Yeah.
The stretch run is going to be in December where you got the Redskins, the Giants, and the Cowboys all at home.
And if you're
in
December,
close. And if you're right there, that's all you can ask
for.
And
you're good, And we're gonna be home around that time, So we're gonna be going nuts and Ho-chata. It's gonna be good. So we'll see you guys on Thursday for Bird Buzz. Stay positive this week, and that's tough, but we got a big matchup. If there's a team to take down Sammy B,
it's the Eagles.
It would be us. So we'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.